This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you. I hope everyone is joined. So yesterday I have sent the material. Okay, I have attached everything. Okay, so sample resumes and the details and everything. Okay, so please go through it and download and yeah, keep it with you. Okay, nothing will be missing there. Only interview questions I will share those separately. Okay, so remaining all I sent. Okay, yesterday itself. Okay, so fine. So yeah. So let's discuss about the okay. Can you anyone missing the emails? Could you please share the email IDs? Okay, if anyone missed the email. Okay. Yeah. Uh, if anyone missing, I will reshare it again. Okay. No issue. Let me open it. I sent again. Could you please check again? Okay. So fine. So let's discuss. Okay. So we had discussed yesterday the Docker, right? So Docker server and how to open the port number and how to expose the port number to the outside world, right? And how to connect to it. So let's have the continuation today. So let me connect to the AWS account, aws.amazon.com. So sign into the console, EC2. Right, so this is my Docker server. Okay, and here it is running. So let me connect to it. Let me connect to the server. So let me make it as a root user. So every time we are creating a container and we are terminating it, right? For example, this is my Docker main server that I created a two containers. Okay. So within one container, I did some work. I did major work. I did some file creation, something. So I want to access those files from my Docker server. Here, for example, I have some OPT folder. Okay, I want to access from those files from my uh, main Docker server. Container files I want to access from here. I don't want to connect every time. I want to access from my main Docker server. So in that case, we can use Docker info, Docker volumes concept. So using Docker volumes, you can you can uh, access from your main Docker, so container data from main Docker server. But how we can do that? So let me see the images, Docker images. So currently I have two images. Let me take one Ubuntu image. Okay, Docker pull Ubuntu. So now the Docker Ubuntu image is downloaded, right? And now let's see the volumes. How many volumes we have? Docker volume ls. So these are the list of volumes I have in my system. Okay. So actually all the volumes are located under varlib Docker. Okay, here your downloaded images, your downloaded containers, your volumes under this location. This currently there are nothing in this location. Okay, so you can use Docker volume ls to see the volumes. Let me create one folder, volume folder, and I will attach that folder to my container. Okay, Docker volume create data. Now if you see Docker volume ls, the data folder is created. And if you see ls volumes also, you can find out the data folder. So data folder is created. Let's go inside of the data folder, cd volumes data folder. Okay, underscore data is there. Let's go inside of that. So ls hyphen a, nothing is there, right? Let's try to create a server using Ubuntu image with this volume mounting. This volume mount, the current an IT hyphen name. So I would like to create the name, for example, test server. I want to use the volume called data folder with my slash opt folder. This is my main server level, Docker server level. Slash opt is with the container within the container level. Okay. So now try to now try to slash data colon slash opt. Okay, data colon slash opt. So 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 yeah, hyphen v data colon slash opt. Okay, and here I'm using data folder of my Docker server slash opt folder is my container folder. Okay, I'm simply I'm simply providing. Okay, I'm simply providing the volume mounting. Okay, so from which server it is? Ubuntu server slash bin slash bash. Now a container is created, and let's go to my opt location of my container. Anything is there? Nothing, right? Let's create one simple folder in it, mkdir testing. Okay, Let's exit from the container. Now, if you see you're in which your main Docker server, right? Let's see that here. Same testing folder is created, right? So this is vice versa. If you did any work there, those work you can see in the main Docker server. In the because this underscore data folder and OPT folder both are interlinked. Okay, so you can create a volume by using Docker volume create. You can interlink or right. So if you want to delete it, you can use Docker volume rm data. So because it's currently used, that's why it is not able to delete. But if you want to delete, you can use the command once you deleted the container. So these are the commands for the volumes. Okay, copy. So volumes, ls volumes, cd data, right? So under this folder, it will be. So you can mount using this command. Okay. So var lib docker. Okay, under the cd var lib slash docker slash okay so slash var lib docker and the volumes folder within the data folder because you created the data, right? So just try this. I will share this list of commands. If you want to create a volume, you can use this. If you want to delete the volume, you can use this. That's it. Okay, so just try these commands. So I just share our chart. Fine. So I create a container, right? Let's list out that docker ps-a testing server, right? This server. So let me start this docker start. Currently is in stopped state, right? Let me start this test server. Docker start test server. Let's see the IP address. So right, docker inspect is the command. You can use inspect for the image also. For example, I want to inspect my Ubuntu image. Okay, Ubuntu. These are my Ubuntu image details, image values. These are image related details. Okay, which image, which tag, right? When it is created, the Docker version in that supportable version. Ubuntu image means Ubuntu version 22 version is there. Similarly, you can inspect your volume also. For example, you have created a Docker volume inspect. Okay, data folder is created, right? So this is the details. Mount point value is here. You can use inspect anything. Okay, so I have my container docker ps-a. This is my container test server, right? So docker test server we have, right? So so let me do one thing. Docker, okay, docker, I want to use, okay, inspect my test server to get the IP address of my test server. Okay, docker inspect test server. Here is my IP address of my Docker test server, test container, right? How this IP address is coming? Because of my network. Okay, if you see Docker network ls, so we have some networks. So my container IP, test server container IP is this one. What is this? 172.17.0.4. And I have the three networks. From this network, one of the network is using and you are getting the IP. So let me see from which actually bridge network is helpful for us to get the IPs. Network network inspect bridge. Okay, you see. So this is the bridge network details. Okay, the bridge network having this subnet. That means from this range, the server will get the IPs. You see. So we use this network, bridge network for the containers. whenever you're creating. If you didn't specify anything, in bridge network it will take by default. Okay. So that's why your IP also within the same series, 172.17.0 series. Okay. So let's try to do that. I want to create my own network and I want to provide my own network, okay, for the network binding. We can use volume binding or we can use network binding also. Let me create Docker network, create some Raju network I want to create. You see, Raju network is created. It will also by default use bridge network one. We see bridge network configuration, bridge driver configuration it is using. Docker network, okay, inspect which network it is bridge, BRIDG. So this is the Raju bridge network, right? So this is bridge network details, but I want Raju network details, right? So let's click on Raju. What is the Raju network subnet? This one. That means so next to this IP, next to this ID, 17 it is 18 it. This is bridge related. This is network related. Okay. So we have created this network, okay, by using the Docker network, create Raju. For example, I want to use this network for my container creation. How to use it? Same process, Docker run hyphen IT hyphen name test server 2, for example, and I want to use the network. Doc hyphen network is equal to Raju, okay, and for the Ubuntu slash bin slash bash. Okay, now the container is created. So let's exit Docker ps hyphen a testing server 2 is created, but currently stop would set. Let's start it Docker start test server 2. Now see the IP. What is the IP? It should be have your Raju network subnet IP. It will start with 172.18. Right? What is it? Docker network Docker inspect test server 2. Is the IP 172.18.0.2? Because you selected Raju network, right? So you have selected the Raju network. You can see networks is Raju, right? So can you try this? If you want to delete the network, you can use Docker network RM network name. Okay, from Raj. You're not able to delete because you have a successful server one is there, right? So just try these commands. These are for networking. Okay. So now what I am doing every time. So we are doing this is your base Docker base image, right? From this image, you are creating the containers. Consider this is some Jenkins image, right? You are creating the containers, right? So you are downloading this Jenkins image from the Docker hub itself, right? And you are creating the container, and you are doing some, for example, you are doing some 3 days or 4 days of work, okay? And your manager is asking you to do the same kind of container. He wants you to create a similar kind of container. Does it a right process doing the same work second time? No, right? So we can create our own image from this container, okay? And if your manager is asking that same work, you can simply create a container from this image, okay? So how to do that? And if you want to store it into the Docker Hub, you can store it as well, right? So this is my Docker Hub. Let me connect to the Docker Hub, hub.docker.com. Um, so if you want to upload any drive, any image to the server, any image to the Docker Hub, so you need to do the thing called, you need to create a folder in the Docker Hub. So I want to upload this image, this Jenkins image, my Jenkins image to the Docker Hub. So what I need to do, I need to create a folder in the Docker Hub, nothing but a repository. Okay, you have to create the repository in the Docker Hub. So how to create? You have the option called create repository. Okay, let's provide the name. For example, some Docker repo. Okay, this is my username. This is my repository name. And public means everyone can see that. Private means only you can see that. Okay, public. Click on create. Now it is created. So currently, any versions, any images, no tags are available. Nothing is there, right? Let's try to do one thing now. This is my Docker ps hyphen a. So this is my Jenkins server, which is already up and running. Okay, and I will create an image from this container. Okay, and I will push this image to my Docker Hub. Okay, let me do that. Okay, here repository is nothing but if is same repositories, right? So we will create and we will upload to our repository, Docker repo. Okay, how to do that? To do this, what you need to have, okay, you need to create and tag with that particular names. So currently we have running container, this one, Jenkins, right? Let's take this Jenkins container. Remaining I will remove it. Okay. So or I will create a container with the Tomcat container. Create image from Tomcat container. So let me remove Docker. Okay. Arm. Okay. So I want to delete all the containers. I want to delete all the containers with a single command. So what is that command? So if you want to delete it, what you need a IDs, right? You can use Docker ps hyphen a will display all the things. If you mention q means it will delete propose only IDs, container IDs. So I want to use Docker rm to remove the containers, and within that you can mention another command Docker ps hyphen a hyphen q. Okay. What will happen? It will use Docker rm and it will try to remove all the containers by taking the IDs. You are not able to remove, you have to use force. Let's use hyphen f. Now it is removed. If you see Docker ps hyphen a, nothing is there, right? So now let's try to create your own container. Okay, Jenkins container, Jenkins master. Okay, I'm providing the command. Now the container is created, Docker ps hyphen a, right? So I will take this container and I will try to create an image, okay, from the running container. So how I can do that? So let's use the command Docker commit is the command from Jenkins hyphen master, and I want to create Raju SW80 for my email ID, my Docker Hub account. And within that, there is a Docker repo, and within that, right? So I want to provide version 1. This is the how I want to name it. Okay, now if you see Docker images, there is Raju SW804 Docker repo version v1 is there. Now you can upload this to your Docker hub, but before that you have to use Docker login. You have to provide your username and password for uploading your own image. So for example, uh, the username you have to, password you have to provide, Docker hub password. Login is successful, right? We are good. Let's push this one, Docker push origin, Docker push origin. We can use, I mean, Docker push. You can run the command, but which one I want to push? Raju SW804 slash I want to use, which one it is the name? Docker repo v1, right? So now it is uploading. Earlier there is nothing in the tag section, right? So once it is uploaded, you can see that. Right, if you see refresh, repositories, we upload into Docker repo. Okay, here it is. Tags, you have the v1, right? For example, I want to create another image with v2 and I want to upload. How to upload? Same process, you have to commit with the tag and you have to upload Docker push. Now the same image will creates and will push it as a v2. So only thing you have to commit, first option you have to do the commit and then you have to log in and then you have to upload. This is the command you have to run. This is for commit, this is for checking the image, this is for login, and this is for pushing, right? That's so for example, so I named it as a wrong name. For example, I mentioned only Docker repo from v3, okay, but how I change it to proper name? Now if you see Docker images, right? Docker images. So you have Docker repo v3, Docker repo v3. So 7 seconds ago, 474 MB. Okay, is there, but not with a proper name, right? You should have this your username and the repo name should be there before this Docker repo. So how to tag it properly? You have to use docker tag command. Docker tag, docker repo, okay, v3, I want to tag it as Raju SW804 slash, okay, docker repo colon v3. So right now it's properly tagged. If you see v3 docker repo, now we have to push it. How to push? Docker push, right? Origin. Then I mean docker push is the command mentioned. No? That's it. So now you have to, now you are able to successfully upload. So this is how you will create your own containers, own images, and how you will upload to the Docker Hub. And this is how you will create your volumes. This is how you will create your network. And we have the one more important concept in the Dockers. It is Docker file. Docker file. So as of now, what you have done? So you have created your own image from the content, right? You are creating a container, you are doing the work, and you are creating a image. But one more process is there, that is you can create your own container with the help of file. Okay, with the help of Docker file. Consider this is a Docker file. Okay, within that you will mention the different steps, what work you want to done as a steps. So once work is done, you no need to create a containers here. You can directly create an image from the file. The 3 days work you can mention as a steps or instructions. So you will mention which base image you want to take. I want to use some base image Ubuntu. Okay, and I will create a image and I will upload that image to the Docker Hub. So here you are not creating any container. You are providing those 3 days work or 4 days. I mean, whatever the work instructions you will provide as a, I mean, you will provide the instructions as a commands. So for example, so let me create one simple Docker file, how it will look like. So the Docker file having the extension, nothing, no extension, the capital D Docker file, capital D Docker file, the name is Docker file. Okay, capital D Docker file. Okay, you can provide with vi Docker file. Okay, I will create a Docker file and here I will mention from I want, from I want to create from Ubuntu image, and I want to provide the instructions. Okay, and I want to maintain the maintainer name, maintainer some Suresh, and I want to run some commands in that. I want to create apt hyphen get update or apt update, and after that I want to install some apt install git maven tree. So these packages I want to install in that system. Okay, and after that, at the end of this, I want to print the message like echo as the command I want to pass. Echo, echo, comma, hello, world. Okay, that's it. So now it is done. So here what I'm doing, I'm trying to create a Maven Git image. Okay, I'm taking Ubuntu. I'm providing the one of is Suresh, and I'm trying to run that apt update, apt update. Okay, so people, could you please sorry, one second. Okay, so just try to save this file. So now your Docker file is created. This is the Docker file. Okay, so within that I'm taking Ubuntu. In that I'm trying to install git maven tree this software. Next time onwards, if I take my own image, okay, I don't need to wait for this. I don't need to install these things because I am passing it as a image. Okay, for example, I want to create a repository called tree. In that I will upload this. Okay, create repo. The name is git tree maven. This is the repo name. Description public. Git tree maven repo is created. And now try to build our image. Okay, Docker build. I want to build it. Docker build. I want to create an image from this, right? Hyphen T. I want to create, right, uh, as this one, right? This image, v1 image with the help of current location, Docker file. That's it. Let's click on enter. So CMD echo is having some error. Let's see that what is the error. Okay. CMD echo. Remove this. We can see that later. Save this. We are taking Ubuntu and we are making the owner is Suresh and apt get update is the updating the list of packages. Okay. So I'm trying to install the other packages, Maven, Git tree. Right? So the git tree maven colon v1 it is done. If you see Docker images, so you have this git tree maven, right? So in that, this is the Ubuntu having size of 47 MB, but why this git tree maven having 452 MB? Because you have installed git maven tree softwares, right? And now you can upload this, but it should have username before it. How to tag it? Docker tag. I want to take git maven tree colon v1. I would like to name it as Raju SW804 slash this name colon v1. Now you can see Docker images. You have your Raju SW git maven tree. Let's upload this. Docker push. This is the name. Copy and paste colon v1. That's it. Now it is uploading, preparing and uploading to the Docker hub. So there are total standard 19 instructions. So we are using from instruction from which image you want to build. Okay, maintain is nothing but the owner, and we have CMD is one of the instruction, and we have run is one of the instruction to run the commands. Okay, you can label the things. So can you go the if you want to expose any port number at system level, you can use expose. Okay, the environment you can make it adding any files from local Docker server to container or image, copying any files. Okay, so there are standard instructions. If you want to create any user at the time of setting the main user, okay, for the container. Okay, if you want to provide any directory once you logged into the container. So there are some standard instructions. No need to learn all. I will share the URL. Okay, 19 instructions URL. Just go through it. I just shared the link of the 19 instructions. Yeah, it is uploaded. If you see git tree maven, go to tags. You can see one tag is uploaded. When it is uploaded, just few seconds ago. If you don't want, select it, delete. Okay. And people, if they want, they can simply re-push it again. Okay. Now if you refresh, it will come back. So yeah, and if you don't want this repo completely, go to settings. Okay, if you want to make it private, make it private. Or if you want to remove, delete, click on delete repo, provide the name, try to delete. So can you try these methods, what we have discussed today? What are the other commands we have tried? Okay, the Docker image, Docker file I have created, Docker file. And let me, this Saturday we'll have the doubt session, okay? You can ask the doubts this Saturday. Saturday I will plan accordingly. We'll have shell scripting classes. I think we can take night or morning. Okay, see. I think last time we have taken at 8:30, right? Maybe that is fine for everyone. We can take Saturday night 8:30, no morning, so we can say night. Okay. So yeah, I will share this file. You can take it. I'm going to office, so we can have the doubt session on Saturdays. So, but please complete this practical. Okay. So how to build it? I can use a Docker build command. Docker build hyphen tag Docker tag and the name and the dot symbol means current location Docker file it will take. Okay. I will reshare to enter the commands. Just take it and try to practice today and come up with the fresh minds tomorrow. Try to complete this practical today itself. And we will have the very important, the final topic in Docker, that is Docker Compose. Okay, we can discuss. I just shared our chart. Please note it down, or please take. I mean, please copy to your system or laptop, something. Or if you want to take the screenshot, you can take the screenshot. Okay. Want to take the screenshot? Please take a screenshot. And I already shared our chart. If someone want to take it, right? So we can meet tomorrow. We can have a